Hey everyone, welcome to Logan's Mosh Pit. Glad to have you here. Do me a favor and please subscribe if you haven't already. Today we're going to do another episode of Classic Concerts. In this series, we'll take a look back at some unforgettable shows that have stood the test of time. For this episode, I picked Elton John at Dodger Stadium in 1975. It's an exceptional example of why Elton John keeps enduring as an entertainer. I bet baseball was the furthest thing from anyone's mind who watched this stupefying show live. First, I'll go through some general info about the event, then I'll bombard you with a list of things that I like and dislike. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to check out this particular performance. Let's begin. Elton John's colossal concert was spread out over a 2-day span, October 25th and 26th, 1975. He cranked out a staggering 31 songs to a sold-out crowd numbering somewhere in the vicinity of 110,000. Emmylou Harris and Joe Walsh took turns warming up the crowd for Elton. Dodger Stadium didn't extend invitations to musicians often. The last group to headline were the Beatles back in 1966. Out of all the tunes I heard here, Benny and the Jets was the one that appealed to me the most. Moving on to likes and dislikes, my first like was the monumental mental fortitude of Elton John. Just a couple days earlier, Elton attempted to take his own life by swallowing a bottle of Valium and leaping into a swimming pool. Luckily, he survived because his relatives pulled him out of the pool and transported him to the hospital. Flash forward, Elton barely got a chance to recover, but he's still out there entertaining over 100,000 people as if the frightening incident never happened. The crowd was completely oblivious. Not many people could bounce back the way he did, especially so quickly. Reminds me of the line from Benny and the Jets that goes, "We shall survive, let us take ourselves along." Another thing that I liked a lot about the Dodger Stadium show was that Elton's falsetto was still intact. In case you didn't know, Elton John gradually developed polyps on his vocal cords, which forced him to have throat surgery in 1987 in order to remove them. Sadly, the surgery permanently changed how his voice sounded. Elton's voice deviated to a deeper, more mature tone. He basically became a brand new singer, divided his career into two different eras. Now, I'm not fond of his newer tone. As a matter of fact, I can't listen to Elton John's recent live performances without cringing. Some fans might disagree with me. That's okay. Personally, I prefer his old style of singing. At Dodger Stadium, Elton's fabulous falsetto helped him deliver a very vibrant, exuberant, and charismatic concert. Something else that I appreciated was the crowd's reaction to Elton. They looked active AF. Nobody was sitting still. Everybody was really engaged, singing along, clapping, waving, dancing, hooping, hollering, you name it. Fans certainly made the most of their time together. Elton had them practically eating out of the palm of his hand. In turn, I could tell that these spectacular spectators returned the energy Elton required to persevere until the end. It was definitely a mutually beneficial exchange. Continuing with the positive qualities, every time I watch an Elton John concert, I'm reminded what a proficient piano player he truly is, possibly only rivaled by Billy Joel. Years of practice have clearly paid off. His fingers flew across the keys effortlessly. It's tough to fathom the amount of concentration he channeled to remember and to execute these notes. It's unreal. In addition, this man can carry a tune while looking away for extended periods. I absolutely admire Elton's voice, but I believe his phenomenal piano playing will always be his best attribute. I can't compliment his piano playing enough. The lighting is worth noting as well. The lighting crew did an impeccable job. They consistently ensured that there was an ample amount of light so viewers could see what's going on. Thankfully, the show at Dodger Stadium refrained from using strobe lights. Maybe I'm in the minority, but strobe lights at concerts drive me crazy. They make my head hurt. I know strobe lights are supposed to create extra excitement, but they have the opposite effect on me. Now, no Elton John review would be complete without mentioning his outstanding outfit. This leads me to my last like. Fashion is something Elton takes so seriously. One of the main reasons why he stands out compared to his competitors. On this occasion, Elton strutted around the stage, flaunting a white and blue Dodgers uniform covered with gleaming crystals. Blocky blue letters spelling out Elton's name were stitched onto the back. His face was framed by a comically large pair of cream-colored sunglasses and a bright blue ball cap, also augmented by jewelry. A look synonymous with his legacy. It was cool that Elton John wore attire which paid homage to the place where he performed. If nothing else, it bought him some bonus points from the fans in attendance. I'm done with my likes, so what about my dislikes? Houston, we have a problem. My one and only nitpick, strike one so to speak, is that it's quite difficult to track down a full version of the show. To be honest, it would be easier for you to find a McDonald's with a working ice cream machine. There's some clips floating around online, but I'd rather enjoy the event in its entirety. I know I'm not alone. This seems to be a common complaint among fans. The closest analogy I could come up with was, imagine if you order a meal from your favorite restaurant. When the meal arrives, you can't wait to dig in. However, after the waiter/waitress lets you take a few bites, they take your plate away and throw it in the trash. Same situation here. You get enough to hold you over, but not enough to completely satisfy. It leaves you wanting more. Perhaps we will finally gain access to the concert in all its glory for the 50th anniversary or something. Fingers crossed. In conclusion, the Rocket Man reached a record height with his Dodger Stadium show. Even Elton admitted within his autobiography that Dodger Stadium was arguably the most prestigious gig of his career, and it represented a pinnacle. Indeed it was. On that day, Elton John hit a historic home run, the likes of which Dodger Stadium will never witness again. Well, that's it. What are your thoughts on the Elton John live at Dodger Stadium performance? Let me know in the comments. That does it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Till then, rock on.